All right. Hello and welcome everyone to tonight's webinar. Tonight we are talking about emotions and how we can use essential oils to have a positive impact on our emotional and mental well-being. So this is an extremely complex topic. We're going to dive into some pretty heavy science, and at the same time we will only be scratching the surface. So we're going to talk about what causes mood imbalances and how we can achieve desired results. So stick with me and just take what you can from this. It isn't important that you remember everything. Just, kind of take what you can. This specific topic is one that I have grown to become really passionate about over the past few years, because I believe that our state of mind is the key to achieving overall health and wellness. In the past year, I've dedicated a pretty good majority of my spare time studying the epidemic of mental health, what causes imbalance in mood, and how it affects the physical body. And the reason for my passion and drive to know more about this subject is because about a year and a half ago, my youngest brother, who has suffered from depression for many years, he attempted to take his own life. And so I remember thinking to myself that day, how is it that someone that grew up in the same home as me, had the same loving parents, similar experiences and upbringing, how can they be so sad that they want to end their own life? And here I am enjoying every single day and, thinking that my life is truly the most beautiful thing. So I began that journey of trying to understand mental illness and really finding ways that we can help people heal their mental state. So my goal is to one day have a wellness center where I can support the needs of individuals looking for a holistic approach to healing through different avenues, different healing modalities, including the use of essential oils, because essential oils are extremely powerful. So we're just going to dive right in, and we're going to talk a little bit about our bodies. So our bodies are made up of intelligent cells, and they are wired to restore health. So the body is brilliant in design and naturally wants to be balanced and function as a whole. So you can see here, we've got a little cell here. And then on this next slide, this is a cell. And to kind of understand the way that our cells work, you need to understand what emotions are and what they're communicating. So emotions are information-carrying molecules, and they bind to and react with cell receptors. So they go into the cell, impacting function and behavior. So in other words, emotions in their smallest and most basic form are chemical molecules. In this image, the cell is receiving these molecules on one of its receptors, and the receptors are molecules that function as senses or scanners, much like our eyes and our ears. These receptors gather a cluster at the surface of the cell. They gather in a cluster, and they wait for a chemical to attach a message. So this new information is received inside of the cell, impacting our energy level, our behavior, and our mood. Now, because emotions are chemical, they are not limited to the mind. So emotions flow and are processed throughout the body. And science is revealing there are complex neural processing functions in the mind, heart, and the gut. So we're going to refer to these as the three brains. So this means that you can actually process feelings in each of these brains. So we've got here the mind, which is our intellect, our logic and our intellect. And we've got our heart here, and this is our intuition. We've got the gut, which is our gut feeling. So the mind is like a conductor, and it directs the body to feel emotionally and behave physically. So the heart discerns the message our brain receives, and the gut responds accordingly distributing health or illness to the rest of the body. I love this little cartoon. I think it's so funny. This is so me, especially the heart. Oh my gosh, let's do something. Yes, I'm sold. So I had to throw that up because I think it's a cute little thing. Add a little humor. So our three brains communicate with each other, and they offer feedback to and therefore influence the mind. So here we have our brain. This is going to show that our head uses logic, reason, answers, and knowledge. And our brain is useful when we need to know the correct answer. Then we have the heart where we feel, and this is useful when we want to express ourselves or we want to pursue the knowledge. And then we have our gut, which is our instinct, experience, and nervous response. So this is useful when we need to make a decision or solve a problem when we don't have that complete information. So I think we can all agree that emotions are either positive or negative for the most part. So positive emotions can likely uplift mood and cause us to act in ways that maintain the positive mood. And conversely, negative moods can sometimes provide us with the motivation to act in ways that improve negative mood. But if left unchecked, unfortunately, negative emotions can have far-reaching effects on negative health and quality of life. So what does that mean? So it means that negative emotions can bog down your life and affect the way that your body feels, not only mentally, but physically as well. And another problem is that oftentimes we don't understand our negative emotions, why we're having them, where they're coming from. So I would dare say that the majority of us grew up in a society that was taught to hide emotions and keep them to ourselves. You know, I was told a lot growing up, don't cry about it. And oftentimes not dealing with our emotions when they surface. I was definitely was brought up that way. You know, we kind of hide our emotions and we keep them to ourselves. And this can lead to a myriad of emotional health challenges and eventually showing up in the physical body. So for centuries, psychologists, scientists, and spiritual teachers have tried to unravel why we suffer emotionally. And there are a lot of facts, you know, there's a lot to consider with this. We know that melancholy, sadness, crisis, and trauma do become wired in the brain and in the body. And so today, medicine has had to come to grips with the idea that every illness is made worse or better by our emotional state. So your thoughts and emotions, many of which are driven by subconscious beliefs and long forgotten experiences, are a powerful force that can aid or degenerate our health. So many of us have events in our lives that are traumatic, and this can be something that's a very hard trauma, something that's, you know, something very severe, or it can be a very small trauma. So for example, your parent dies when you're a young child, or maybe even in middle age, or one of your kids gets a minor illness, or maybe even they get a life-threatening illness. Maybe we have a car accident on the highway. But we also have traumatic experiences that we don't even consider trauma, you know, like maybe degrading comments from a teacher, or maybe a controlling parent, disengagement from a loved one, you know, the list goes on. So let's talk about how trauma can affect the wiring of the brain. And we're going to get into the way that the brain works here. So just hold on. So our brains are malleable. Neural pathways can reconnect or grow, and this plasticity is primarily seen in a few brain areas, including the hippocampus, which is important for learning and memory. So the brain development is use dependent. What we use gets stronger. So if we're practicing these negative emotions, if we're constantly in a state of depression and we're constantly feeling sad, then those feelings are going to get stronger and put us into a deeper emotion. And then vice versa, if we're feeling happy and we're continuing to keep those positive moods, then we're going to become more happy. So the area of the brain focused on survival acts first and faster than our thinking brain. A stress response, although involuntary and automatic, can be based on a learned emotional association referred to as fear conditioning. So the amygdala, which is the fight, flight, or freeze in trauma survivors, is hypervigilant. It's constantly scanning for danger, seeing danger, sensing a threat, reacting to perceived threat or danger. And this is exhausting. I don't know if you've ever been in this state of mind before, but it truly is exhausting. So then the trauma stress events, especially layers of trauma over time, strengthen our survival neural networks, making them quicker to respond. Memories of trauma are both implicit, activate emotions and senses, and explicit, they activate pictures and stories of what happened. So implicit trauma memories are stronger than explicit memories. Memory involves repackaging fragments of sensory information into a coherent whole. And because the brain areas that provide context are often not working well in traumatic situations, these detached sensory fragments can elicit a stress response even in the absence of threat. So even if we don't feel a threat, we're still going to be having those responses. So when we feel threatened or scared, our brains move resources away from thinking and towards survival. Trauma-informed or trauma-specific work is about reducing the experience of threat, emotional regulation, and restoring the capacity of the prefrontal cortex, which is the thinking, problem-solving, planning, inhibiting part of the brain. Every interaction the survivor has with physical space intake, case managers, or clinicians, assessment procedures and questions, rules and policies, etc., has the potential to either activate the trauma response or not. So when we fail to reactivate the trauma response, we invite the frontal lobe back online and enhance emotional regulation, rational thought behavior, etc. So positive interactions which create safe context and connection are foundational to changing the brain patterns. So all of this trauma and whatnot that we experience in life leads to negative emotions. So this is sort of where, one of the core roots of our negative emotions are. So if we can understand our trauma, we can get through our trauma, then we can start to remove those negative emotions that we have, and we'll lead a happier, healthier life. All right, so let's get into the good stuff, the positive stuff. So how do essential oils affect our emotions? So our sense of smell is estimated to be about 10,000 times more acute than any of our other senses, and sensitive to around 10,000 chemical compounds. So we know that essential oils are organic chemical compounds. So once we register the aroma, it travels faster to the brain than any other sense, sight or sound. When we inhale the aroma of an essential oil, the aromatic molecules travel up the nose, where they're registered by the nerves of the olfactory membranes in the nose lining. The aromatic molecules stimulate the lining of nerve cells and trigger electrical impulses to the olfactory bulb in the brain. The olfactory bulb then transmits the impulses to the amygdala, where emotional memories are stored, and then to other parts of the limbic system of the brain. And because the limbic system is directly connected to those parts of the brain that control heart rate, blood pressure, breathing, memory, stress levels, hormone balance, essential oils can have profound physiological as well as psychological effects. Our olfactory responses to aroma induce the brain to stimulate the release of hormones and neurochemicals that in turn alter the body's physiology and behavior. So that's pretty exciting. Now, because of their aroma and unique molecular structure, essential oils can directly stimulate the limbic lobe and the hypothalamus. So just in the inhalation of essential oils can be used to alleviate stress and emotional trauma, just simply by inhaling them. It can also be used to stimulate the production of hormones from the hypothalamus, The stimulation may increase production of thyroid hormones, which is our energy hormone, and then growth hormones, which are our youth and longevity hormones. So the area of the brain known as the amygdala plays a major role in storing and releasing emotional trauma. So one way to stimulate this gland is with aroma or through the sense of smell. So in other words, the emotional brain is more likely to respond to smell than it is to words that we read, words that are spoken, words that we hear. Our sense of smell links directly to the emotional states and behaviors often stored since childhood. So I know for me personally, I've been working through a lot of childhood stuff the past few months and years. And that's something that can be really, really hard to get through, when we've buried those emotions for so long. It's something that can be a real challenge to release and get rid of. So we know that smell is the only one of the 5 physical senses that is directly linked to the limbic lobe of the brain, which is our emotional control center. So anxiety, depression, fear, anger, joy, they all physically originate from this region. So a certain fragrance can evoke memories. I don't know if you guys have, I have certain smells that remind me of my grandma, or certain smells that will just trigger a memory for whatever reason. And that is because the limbic part of the brain is that emotional control center. So those fragrances do evoke those memories. So these emotions can be evoked before we are even consciously aware of it, which is really interesting. So when smells are concerned, we react first and then we think later. All other physical senses are routed through the thalamus, which acts as the switchboard for the brain. So passing stimuli onto the cerebral cortex, which is the conscious thought center, and other parts of the brain. So essential oils enable us to access stored or forgotten memories and suppressed emotions, so that we can acknowledge and integrate or release them. So the word emotion can translate into energy in motion. And emotion is the experience of energy moving through our bodies. The emotional energy actually works at a higher speed than thought, which is really, really interesting to me. Thoughts and images can take seconds or minutes to evoke a memory, while an aroma can evoke a memory in milliseconds. Forgotten memories and suppressed emotions can wreak havoc in our lives. So often being the unsourced causes of things like depression, anxiety, our fears, stress. So emotional or essential oils can actually help us surface and release these emotions wherever they are stored in the body. And they're especially effective when used synergistically with positive thoughts and affirmations. So for me, I know I've personally seen some really incredible results achieved from aromatherapy using essential oils in quite short time frames. However, I have found that essential oils affect our minds, emotions, and bodies most profoundly when we invite the presence of these beautiful, healing friends of ours, our essential oils, into our daily lives and incorporating them into a daily practice of use over time. So this truly is, and I'm sure you've heard me say it before, it's a lifestyle change. Using essential oils is such a lifestyle, and we don't just expect to use these aromatic compounds for a week and be healed. This is something that we truly need to incorporate into our lives on the daily. So if that's a little bit overwhelming and you're thinking like this little guy here, so where do I begin? Because this is a lot, and there are so many different oils and so many different emotions that I would like to address. So we're going to start with the different classifications of essential oils. So we'll start with herbs and grass. And if you all know me, I have to say herbs because my husband is from England and he says darling. There's an H on that. So we're calling it herbs and grass. So herbs and grass are going to consist of essential oils like basil, cilantro, dill, fennel, lemongrass, marjoram, oregano, rosemary, and thyme, just to name a few. And this class includes oils that are high in phenols, ketones, and alcohols. So this explains the power to promote a warming, toning, grounding, sort of energizing feeling. Some essential oils in this class, like lemongrass and rosemary, offer benefits of soothing and renewing emotions. And because of the emotional benefits offered by essential oils derived from herbs and grasses, this class of oil may be useful when addressing emotions of discontent, bitterness, anger, things like that. So next we have spice essential oils. And what I've noticed is really interesting is when you look at the different classifications of oils, like the grasses, and then the spices, they kind of relate to what you think they would. So thinking about spice, if you need to spice something up, if you're feeling bored or disinterested and you want to spice it up, use a spice oil. So that's one way that you can kind of remember how you would use these oils. So spice oils are going to be high in phenols and aldehydes. So we've got oils like cinnamon, cassia, cumin, clove, and these oils all create a warming effect. So then we've got spices such as coriander and cardamom, which give a very grounding and renewing effect. And then we've got black pepper and ginger, which are high in sesquiterpenes. So these can be very soothing. And as a class, spice essential oils are going to be ones that, like I said, you want to spice something up, use your spice oils. If you're feeling bored, disinterested, just kind of blah, get out your spice oils. So then we have citrus. And these are some of my most favorite oils. I love, love, love the citrus oils. So we've got oils like lime, lemon, grapefruit, wild orange, tangerine, bergamot. And we, at our house, we call wild orange sunshine in a bottle. I just love wild orange so much. So these oils are going to be high in monoterpenes, and that's what gives it that powerful uplifting effect. So for that reason, we can be using these oils when we're feeling sad or gloomy or discouraged, just feelings of being down and out. Get your citrus oils out. Use that sunshine in a bottle. So then we have tree oils, and another way to think of tree oils is that they've got roots and they're very grounding. So they're also known for their abilities to soothe our emotions as well as being grounded. And this is a broad class of oils. So the wood oils are going to include melaleuca, arbor vitae, eucalyptus, cypress, juniper berry, frankincense, Douglas fir, white fir, any of the tree oils. These oils have diverse chemistry, but the emotions they promote are going to be best described as toning, calming, renewing, uplifting, and grounding. So we would want to use these oils, especially when we're experiencing grief or sadness or shame. And I think that in our society, shame is probably one of the strongest emotions, one of the most present emotions that we feel. Especially as women, we are very shamed for not being perfect enough or not being good enough or not being enough in general. So work that shame out, get it out, use your tree oils. So next we have our florals, and florals are known for their delicate aroma. And because many floral oils are derived from the blossoms of the plant, they're among some of the most precious and most expensive oils available. So we know with doTERRA, rose and jasmine, we aren't able to even purchase those because they're so precious and so rare. We can earn them. We also have lavender, Roman chamomile, geranium, helichrysum, ylang ylang, and these are all very powerful, powerful floral oils. And they're primarily composed of alcohols and esters. So these compounds promote harmonizing, calming, soothing, renewing feelings. So if you think of like when you're feeling sad and you're feeling hurt and someone brings you flowers, and it's just something that instantly makes you feel a little bit better about the situation. So I feel like florals are just like those oils. It's like getting a hug. That's the way that you can kind of think of those oils. So if this is still a lot to take in, doTERRA's made it very, very simple, and you can get this wheel by purchasing some of our emotional blends, and we'll talk about those in a little bit. But they've made this really, really simple for us. So you can see here, maybe today I'm grieving and I'm feeling worried. So I would look at those emotions on the wheel and see that I need something with trees and something with floral oils in it. So I would turn to my console. Or maybe I don't have console. Maybe I just have lavender and melaleuca. Those are two oils that I can use. So this is going to be something that's really easy to help you kind of get familiar with emotions and the oils that we can use. So if you want to keep it simple, we've got our simple oils here. So we've got motivate, cheer, passion, forgive, and console, and peace. And these oils are what they say they are. And I'm sure that some of you, maybe all of you, have tried these oils, but they're absolutely beautiful. They're extremely helpful when going through any kind of emotional distress. And so I recommend definitely collecting these oils as you can. They also are available in a touch kit, which is a pre-diluted roller bottle. And so that makes it even easier if you just want to have the convenience of the roller bottle. So then lastly, I just wanted to throw up a couple of oils that we really love, oils that I use. I use all of these oils almost daily, definitely throughout the week. But these oils are very, very good for me and what I'm going through. And if you are interested in learning more about emotional support with oils, this book is an incredible resource. I think it's like $17.99. You can get it from oillife.com. And this has really, really helped me through some tough times during my life, some challenges, and all of the oils listed here. I mean, I use a lot more of the oils than just these listed, but I think that these are all really important things that we can work on and that we can help work through with the use of essential oils. And something that's been really, really helpful for me is to have a lot of positive self-talk while I'm using these oils. So, if I'm struggling with self-acceptance and I'm, being really hard on myself, I would take out my bergamot and I would place it on my wrists, maybe on my heart center, and I would say to myself over and over, I love and accept myself. I love and accept myself. Maybe I'm feeling scarcity and I don't know why the universe isn't delivering me all the things that I think I deserve. So maybe I'll pull out my orange, my wild orange, and I'll place it on my wrist, maybe rub it on the back of my ears, and I'll say to myself, I invite abundance into my life. Things like that. So there are a lot of positive affirmations that you can find on the internet. Louise Hay is one of my most favorite for affirmations. She's like the affirmation queen. So if this is something that you're interested in learning more about, I'd say that she's a very, very good start to kind of getting into that. And this is a really great way to start changing your life, because our emotions are definitely linked to our physical bodies. There's a lot of science supporting that now. So definitely get your oils out and give yourself some self-love and positive self-talk. So I'm going to talk again about our reactivation campaign very quickly. If you have not ordered since August 1st, before August 1st, you could qualify to get a free On Guard or a free Breathe, or possibly both. So you've got to call in to doTERRA if you want to see if you qualify for these oils. You can just give them a call and see what it's going to take for you to get them. We've got the free frankincense going on this month. So if you order 200 PV or more, you're going to get your free frankincense. This is awesome. It's a $79 bottle of oil if you're purchasing it wholesale. So really, really awesome oil. We all know the power of frankincense, I hope. And if you don't, then tune in next week because we will talk about the power of frankincense next week. And then, of course, if you order on your LRP, we've got 2 more days and you can receive the product of the month if you purchase 125 PV or more. And you're going to get this cute little diffuser ornament where you can just put drops of oil on it, so that'll make your house smell nice. And then you get the Holiday Joy. Holiday Joy is such a beautiful blend. It smells like Christmas in a bottle. It's very warming and comforting, and I just love, love, love that oil. It's a very, very great time for Holiday Joy. And then lastly, I want to ask for help. So we are working with doTERRA Healing Hands and my friends at 109 World and the Wellness Advocate Partner Project. So I submitted the application for my friends at 109 World a couple of months ago. We've been back and forth trying to work out the details, and we were approved last week. So we are aiming to raise $10,000 for the project. The project is going to be in Greece. It's building 2 schools for refugees. There are hundreds of thousands of people who have fled the countries of Syria and places like that. They are now in a lot of places in Europe, and they have no homes, they have no food, they have no shelter. So we want to go and we want to help them. So we're aiming to raise $10,000. We have till the 6th of January, so not a lot of time. But if we raise $10,000, doTERRA Healing Hands will match it. I'm super, super passionate about this, so I'm asking for any help. I'm not just asking for donations, you guys. I know that money's tight during the holidays. So if you have ideas on how we can raise money, if you've got something that you can donate, we're going to be doing a silent auction, donating some art pieces, I've got some friends donating some massage therapy, things like that. So if there's anything that you can donate that we can auction off to raise money, that would be just as helpful as donating money. If you want to donate, you can go to the link here. And you'll scroll down to the Wellness Advocate Partner Project donation, and then my upline sponsor, the one who's sponsoring me on this, is Joan Kuhn. So it's going to say 109 World Joan Kuhn. So that's where you're going to donate if you want to donate. And then if you want to know a little bit more about 109 World, you can check the YouTube video, the link here. It's an awesome, awesome organization, and I would love for you guys to check it out. You can also come on the trip I think we're going in May, so we'll be going and we'll be working with the children, building the schools, and it's something that's very, very life-changing. So if you're feeling in the giving spirit and you can help me out in any way, you can email me, you can call me, and anything helps. Even $1 or just a suggestion is going to be helpful for me. So thank you for letting me plug my little nonprofit here, and thanks so much for joining us tonight, you guys. I'm really, really grateful for all of you wanting to come and learn more about these beautiful oils. If you have questions, email me. I can send out the recording if you're thinking, oh, there's no way I can learn all of this and I missed a lot or whatever. I can send you the recording if you're interested. Just send me an email and I'll get it out to you. All right. Thanks so much, you guys. Have a great night.